Hi, Chef. Oh, yeah. Red, howdy. Let me say hi, Red. Boom. So, very good, Chef, that you subbed to Crash Test Goat. See what's happening there. Hey, is my video camera clear or is it out of focus and fuzzy for you guys? I can't tell. Crash Test Goat. You stop this. I'm just gonna go over here to show you this stuff. And then let's see, oh, we're going to talk about long trip to Houston. Maybe switch that to here. And what other countries succeeded? Which ones failed? Let me check in on the chat just to see how we're at. Yeah, there's only 2 people here. Oh, there's 4 people present. So there's 2 people who are hiding. I'm just stalling for time until 1 or 2 more people show up. I mean, I'll start in like a minute or 2. I don't want to punish you guys for being on time. Just want to give everybody a minute or 2 to roll in. And just so you know, I was going to talk about get an idea of what kind of riding you guys do. And then I was going to talk about the impact of my long trip to Houston, how it was kind of a difficult day, actually. It was really tough. And then I was going to talk about companies founded by immigrants and how they succeeded. And why did they come to the U.S.? Why not go to other countries? And then there's other countries that have had government-driven initiatives that were quite successful, but there was also plenty that failed. There's actually more that failed than those that succeeded, but when they succeed, they're great, and when they fail, they're pretty terrible. Oh, this is miles per hour here, and this is RPMs. I'll explain later, though. Let me just see how we're doing. Oh, we lost somebody. We're down to only 3 people. Oh, your reoccurring Crash Test Goat sub ends now. I don't get it, Chef, but that's okay. Boy, we might not have anybody showing up, or people kind of trickle in, I guess. It maybe don't get started in earnest until about 8:15, 8:20. Or it's 8 o'clock out here where I'm at, but I should say 15 or 20 minutes into the stream, that's when, if people are going to show up, that's when they show up. Bezzy, good to see you. Let me see. Hi, Bezzy. Thank you for showing up, Bezzy. There, back at you. So we've got Chef, Red, and Bezzy. Yes, Bezzy, yes, they do. So since you guys are here, we could just chat a little bit about this, and I'll look at the chat. I'll pop back and forth. Here's what I realized, guys. I short shift a lot, and what I mean by that is I don't wind it out. When I was on my Ninja 650, I'd wind that son of a bitch out like crazy. I mean, I rang every drop out of that bike that it had to give. I'd go like full throttle. I'd go all the way up in the rev range. I wouldn't go super high. The red line was 10K, but I would shift at about 8 or 9K on that thing, Um, and you can't really get in too much trouble with a Ninja 650. I mean, it's fast, but it's not that fast. But what I realized is uh, when I'm on the Fireblade, I usually shift around 7 or 8,000 RPMs, which is a bit of a joke, and I'll show you why I'm saying that. Um, at 8,000 RPMs, it's only making 100 horsepower, and the torque is about 62 pound-feet. So this is a, oh, I can't take that, that's my friend, I gotta call him back. That's a 600 class bike. It's even a little bit below a 600 class bike. So I'm riding my Fireblade as if it was a 636 or an R6. Not even actually, a little bit under, because 636 and a R6 is good for about 126 horsepower approximately. I'd have to be up around, I'd have to be just north of 9,000 RPMs. I've gotten up to 10,000 RPMs at times, but only for a little bit, not that much, because the engine's really like singing when you're up there. So anyway, what I wanted to ask the chat and ask you guys for feedback on, let me scroll down here, I'm bouncing around. How do you guys ride? Goat obviously is way the hell up here at 180 or 200 miles an hour, not all the time, but when he gets on, he's up there. And he's up very high in the rev ranges. You look at his tach, and he's at like 11, 12 on the tach. Some people ride sluggishly. They just go like 35, 40 miles an hour city streets, and they keep the low RPMs super low. And then when you come a little bit more experienced and you're on the freeway, yeah, you're going at freeway speeds, 70, 80 miles an hour, and you're keeping it kind of tame at about 6,000 RPMs or so. When you shift. Uh, I I actually cruise at about 5,000 RPMs. Even though I'm going like 100 miles an hour or 110. I'm only down around 5 or 6 thousand RPMs, maybe 6,000 RPMs. So if you're a somewhat go fast person, which on a stretch that's about where I'm at. Way up here is the goat territory. Look at the chat. Where are you guys at? If you guys have an opinion. Oh, there's 4 of us here. Oh, Seth, you made it. Hey, hi, Seth. Let me officially say hi to Seth. Hi, Seth. Thanks for joining, Seth. Good of you. I mean, Chef, Red, Bezzy, Seth, do you guys ring your bike out? Do you make the thing sing to get everything out of it that it has to offer? That's how I was when I was on my 650. I used everything that it had, but my Fireblade, no, I've just scratched the surface, guys. My Fireblade, I rarely go. I think the highest RPMs I've ever gotten is 10,000 RPMs on my Fireblade, and the fastest I've gone is like the upper 130s. I haven't even gone 145. I've gone 145 on an S1000 RR, but I haven't gone 45 on my Fireblade. I've gone like about 138 or so, maybe 140. Seth, do you ring your bike out? Because look at you, man. You got like an H2 and you got a CBR 1000, and it's nothing. Don't nothing to be ashamed of, because I mean, goat goes at insane speeds, and now they passed a law in California. If the cops catch you going over 100 miles an hour, I think it's a felony. Pitchfork, good to see you. Hey, hey, cool. Hi, Pitchfork. Boom, chocolate kaboom. So, so Bessie, yeah, you wind your Grom out, like, no question, and good that you should. And you can get in trouble on a Grom, as everybody knows. Yeah, so you you don't normally wind it up too much, you're saying, Seth. You go fast, but you don't go like super fast because you don't want to invite trouble, which I totally understand. Because the last thing you want to do is get busted by the cops. Um, Pitchfork, you probably are a go fast guy. You probably ride faster and harder than me. I was saying that I keep my Honda, my Ninja 650. I used to ring that thing out, and I got every drop of performance that poor bike had to offer. But on the Fireblade, I've only scratched the surface, and I realized the highest RPMs ever gone is 10,000. I usually shift around 7 or 8,000, which is a joke because it's only putting out about 100 horsepower at that point. The horsepower really climbs big time up around 10, 11 thousand RPMs. And so the epiphany that I had to share with you guys is what I could do is I could live over in this quadrant here, and I'm going to say the new legal fun place. And let me put that over here. And what I mean by that is I could stay in first gear on the freeway. I can easily hit 90 miles an hour in first gear. Easy, easy, easy. I might be able to do 100. But let's say I'm doing like 85, 90, which is routine. You know, if you're going any slower than 85 in the fast lane, you're going to have cars on your ass and they're going to be frustrated with you. But the point is that if you're up at around 12,000, 13,000 RPMs, now you're really feeling what the engine has to offer. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Boom, boom. This is for Pitchfork. Not that I'm trying to exclude other people, but if I'm up at 12 or 13,000 RPMs, check out the horsepower. This is at the wheel. The engine itself is up around 190, 195. By the way, this chart is for a CBR 1000, but it's not my year, and it's not the SP package. It's a somewhat, I don't want to say detuned, but a slightly less powerful CBR 1000 than mine. But it's representative of what my bike does. And so if I'm shifting down around 7,000, 8,000 RPM, say 8,000 RPM, and then I'm cruising at about 6,000 RPM, which I typically am cruising around 6,000 RPM, the engine's only putting out about 65 horsepower. It's like, shit, that's Ninja 650 territory in terms of the horsepower. So I'm kind of riding my poor super bike as if it was a Ninja 650. That's what I'm beginning to realize. I mean, I accelerate hard, guys, and I do wind it out some. I get up to 10,000 RPM or so, and so I know what it feels like to have 140 horsepower, and I know what it feels like to have 80 pound-feet of torque, which is almost double what the Ninja 650 has. And Ninja 650 is at 47 pound-feet. But let me look at chat to see what you guys say. Chef, tired looking. Oh, okay. Oh, so Pitchfork, yeah, you drove 2 days or so, or whatever it was, from Seattle, and now you landed in Idaho. And so, yeah, I can imagine that you're tired, Pitchfork. I would never stop for the concert. Okay. So, Seth, you got bigger balls than me, man. Okay, and because I've never run from the cops. You know, I don't know if I would or not. If I had plausible deniability, then I might light it up. But then again, I'm not sure. So Pitchfork, you say your max speed in a car and on a bike was 145. Yeah, the bike was maxed. Okay, yeah, the car was not, and it was raining at the time. Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy to be going too quick in the rain. So let me just see. Okay, hey. So all right. 3 states, you drove through 3 states, Pitch, I guess. So here's the thing that I wanted to share with you guys. I guess we'll launch into it because it's 8:15. Skipping that. one of the things that I realized was just to follow up on yesterday's discussion, at 200 miles an hour, which is what my bike is good for, which is what it would max out for, and it has a push. It has a push of 300 something pounds, 350 pounds ballpark pushing you. But an F-35 going 1,200 miles an hour has 17,000 pounds of push force on the thing. Okay, yeah, here I'm at 375 pounds of push on the good old fire blade to make that happen. And my coefficient of friction is 0.257. And if you look at a F-35 with 137,000 pounds of thrust coming out of that engine, and it's going 1,200 miles an hour, which is 536 meters per second. Here, see? So it's got a coefficient of friction, coefficient of drag of 0.212. So it's more aerodynamic than a motorcycle. Not a surprise. A Mustang GT has a coefficient of friction of 0.32, which is kind of high. Tesla Model S Plaid has a coefficient of friction, I keep saying coefficient of friction, coefficient of drag is what it should be, coefficient of drag of 0.2. So the damn Tesla Plaid has a lower coefficient of drag than an F-35. That's pretty amazing. And it's got much less drag than a motorcycle, and it has way less drag than a traditional car. You know, kind of, I guess a Mustang's sort of a sport car, muscle car, whatever. So that was sort of interesting to me. So I was going to show you this thing about these guys. Let me just check it, chat so I can check in. Oh, we got 7 people here. Who's here now? You got a Chevelle now, Pitch, but you used to have a Vet. That's cool. Oh, so Pitchfork, you bought a piece of property today. How about that? Good for you. Well, and congratulations. And I guess that was the main reason why you drove out there, so that you could get there and take care of it. Yeah, no, Chef, I know Red's a good guy. Sometimes he gets excited, I guess, but Red's a good guy. Let's see. I'm just checking out the chat. Just looking at the chat. Seth says going fast does not make you a great rider. Yeah, that's true. You can go at an average speed and be yeah. No, Seth, you're 100% right. That's absolutely true. You don't have to scream fast to be a good rider. You just gotta be either a little bit crazy or have a tremendous amount of courage. You certainly need to have some reasonably high skill set to be going fast. But anyway, I won't go into too much depth on this, but I was going to touch upon it just for a second, because there's this company, TSMC. Everybody knows them. They're the chip manufacturer out of Taiwan. They've got a market capitalization of 1.6 trillion. They're strategically important. And then there's NVIDIA at 4.4 trillion. I didn't know this, but NVIDIA is actually valued higher than Google. What's Google's parent company? Alphabet, I guess. But anyway, all 3 of these companies were founded by immigrants, and they all, well, 2 of them came from, I guess you could call it China. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, came from Taiwan. Sergey Brin came from Moscow. But you can see that they moved here in these years, this guy, way back when. So it was, and I'm not trying to get political here. I wish that I wish that we had immigration reform and didn't have to be so arduous for someone to get into the country legally. It's like, if you think it's frustrating to go to the DMV, it's really frustrating to have to go through the immigration process in the United States. So, but in each of these cases, these people, these extremely gifted people, fled their native countries. Either they fled being of age, but more importantly, their parents fled and brought them with them as they were kids. Now, not Morris Chang. He was 18. He came here because he wanted to go to Harvard. But he ended up becoming a U.S. citizen in 1962. He worked at Texas Instruments for 25 years, became a vice president, and then Taiwan in 1985, they made a strategic decision. They said, we'd like to get into the chip business. We'd like to make a strategic move to have chip fabrication in our country, Taiwan, that island off of China. And the reason that he came to the U.S. at all was because of the Chinese Civil War. His parents fled, spent 25 years at Texas Instruments, became a vice president. They were very successful. It took them about 2 years. The Taiwanese government probably got headhunters and searched for 2 years, and they found this guy and said, son of a bitch, he's one of us. He speaks Mandarin Chinese because he's born in China. And he's got all this chip experience and management experience and know-how from working at Texas Instruments, and he was educated at Harvard and MIT and Stanford. And it's kind of coincidental. All three of these guys went to Stanford. I went to Stanford, guys. And then Jensen Huang, he worked at Denny's, and then he worked at AMD, and then he founded NVIDIA. He went to Oregon State, which is not all that prestigious, or whatever, and obviously the guy was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he was working at Denny's probably while he was going through college. And then he went to Stanford, graduated, and now his damn company's worth $4.4 trillion. It's worth more than Google or Alphabet. Sergey Brin, his family fled Russia. He was born in Moscow, Russia. Fled Russia, his family did, when he was 6 years old, and came here in 1979. He actually, his parents were frickin' welfare recipients. They were, I don't want to say they were mooching off the state or mooching off our welfare system, but in a way they were, a little bit. But they needed help. They got help. Thank God they did. He actually didn't graduate. He dropped out of Stanford because him and his the other co-founder of Google, they came up with this search engine, and they thought, I think my prospects are better if I focus on building this company rather than getting a diploma from Stanford. So anyway, you can't argue with that. Now he doesn't have all 3.8 trillion, but let's see what his net worth is, just for shits and giggles. Net worth, that's the first thing everyone wants to know about him. Oh, he's only worth $230 billion on a bad day. On a good day, he's worth $250 billion. Not too bad for a welfare recipient. So anyway, there he is, Sergey Brin. There's Morris Chang. He's old. Shit, he's, son of a bitch, is 94 years old. And Jensen Huang, I don't know how old he is, but maybe 63. So here's a quiz for the group. These two Asian people were over there in Taiwan, and then, Sergey's family's over there in the Moscow area. They could go anywhere in the world. Why not go to Australia? Australia speaks English, and they've got a similar government to ours, and it's a lot closer. It's right next door. In fact, here, we'll look at it. Where are we? Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Here you are. There's Taiwan. Moscow's up that way. There's Australia. Why not just go right to Australia? Why didn't these people end up in Australia? I know the answer to this, but I'm quizzing the chat to see what you guys say. Why didn't they just go to Australia? Okay, so I'll answer that because there's nothing happening in the chat. Oh, you guys are talking about motorcycles and Groms, which is good. There's two reasons why they didn't go to Australia. Number one, the U.S. is the greatest melting pot country in the world. You have your best chance of succeeding in America without prejudice, although there is prejudice and bias. You got to be real. But the other thing is, Australia restricted immigration. That they didn't want Asians. They wanted people from Britain. They had like they were racial profiling people entering the country, and these people weren't welcome. They couldn't get in. It's kind of ugly, actually, or disheartening, I guess you could call it. So then I had asked this one question about where are we here? Live stream chats. I don't know if this stuff is interesting to you. I'll skip over because I'm probably boring you. We'll focus more on motorcycles. Oops. Let me go down here. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. There we go. Ha ba 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 ba. So there's oh, okay, here we go. TSMC government activity, they decided that they wanted to get into high-tech stuff, and they recruited Chang. And Chang, it's because of his expertise and the expertise that he got in America about manufacturing and quality, emphasis on quality. He was the one that breathed life into the TSMC, which is very interesting. And it made me think about Deming, this guy. He was selected by MacArthur after World War II, and Japan was, their industry was destroyed from the war. And I remember as a kid, Japanese products were shit. It was called cheap, we referred to it as cheap Jap stuff. Cheap Jap steel, cheap Jap whatever. And so anyway, they selected Edward Deming in 1950 to improve industrial quality, having been introduced to his expertise during post-war census there. So he earned his stripes, Edward Deming, in World War II in getting production rates up, to drive the war effort. And MacArthur knew about him, and so when MacArthur was rebuilding Japan, MacArthur ruled Japan for about 10 years after World War II. I don't know if you guys know that. And so he tapped Deming, and Deming did all this stuff emphasizing quality, whatever, and he's responsible for the Japanese automotive market, meaning Honda, Toyota, and everybody else, to put an emphasis on quality, and they drove quality actually better than the U.S. manufacturers, and they developed a competitive edge with that. And so, but it's very interesting that once again, it was an American that breathed life into the Japanese automotive industry. Who would have thunk? And so Sony and other people followed his leadership, and it panned out big time. And so then I had asked this question about other countries that had government-initiated businesses that were successful. And they pointed to things like Singapore becoming a semiconductor hub, and they did some other things. The Chinese electric vehicle industry, they're driving that. The U.S. The U.S. invented the internet. That was a good example of a of a government intervention. But then I asked, are there examples of unsuccessful government initiatives where things went south? um, and so it's like, yeah, there's a whole bunch. They talk about the Soviet Union. Instead of developing internal innovation quality systems like TSMC did, the Soviet Union attempted to build a semiconductor industry by spying on and copying Western technology to be a follower. And it failed miserably. They took the opposite approach of TSMC. Instead of creating a market-defined foundry, blah, 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 the Soviets relied on a closed military-industrial complexes that were slow and inefficient. And then the Concorde, it was actually a bust. That was a government, French, British undertaking. It failed for a variety of reasons. You can check that out. The Montreal airport in Canada, it failed. It was a spectacular screw up. There's all kinds of, the UK post office. There's so many examples of companies just blowing it. Countries blowing it, governments that get in the way. But every once in a while, the governments get it right. So governments aren't all bad. All right, let me check in the chat. Because I'm going to talk about CF Moto for a second. Let me just check chat. HOA carport. Oh, so Bezzy, you want to build a carport? It'll cost $600, but you got to get it HOA approved. Maybe no, you're out in the boondocks. Oh, you do have an HOA. All right, so that can be a hassle, right? Bezzy, you've got to submit plans and they've got to be okayed, and a lot of red tape. That's frustrating. Yeah, HOAs can be stupid. Sometimes they're good. They serve a purpose, but more often than not, they're a pain in the ass. And they're quite militant, and they have like unlimited power. They've got as much power as the bank that holds your mortgage. It's really frustrating. So, you guys, I was going to talk about CF Moto for a second. I don't trust CF Moto. CF Moto is chatgpt.com. What can you tell me about CF Moto? It looks very promising, guys, but I'm not convinced. So they're a power sport manufacturer. It's very interesting what they're proposing to do. They're going to compete mostly on price, but they're going to offer high quality, high performance vehicles, offering great products at super low prices. And so they work in conjunction with KTM. They got a lot of their engine know-how from KTM. The brand stigma of Chinese equals cheap still lingers. Yes, it's true. Long-term durability. This is the thing that I was going to focus on. Just because you build one of something doesn't mean that you can go scale it up and build 1,000 or 1,000,000 of them. And so, and the Chinese are kind of full of shit, guys, just a little bit. I mean, I was going to have a synth wave and I forgot. I'll start up later. Here's Chinese. Here's an illustration of the Chinese real estate market. They demoed 15 high-rise buildings all at once, but property values are collapsing in China, just like these buildings that you see here. I think there's one or two more to go. Oh. So there's so many shortcomings in terms of quality with China, and they can do some great things, and you got to be careful. You don't want to underestimate them too much. Let's see. Let's look at what is CF Moto's high-end sport bike. It's a V4 1000 with 210 horsepower, active aero wings, cool carbon fiber components. But there's only a prototype. I don't think you can get one, but it's a high-end 997 cc bike, 3-cylinder. Is it a 3-cylinder? Let's see. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. CF Moto. Specs. Oh, V4. Okay, so it's a 4-cylinder. It's got to be 4-cylinder. Red line at 45,500, which is good. 84 pound-feet of torque, which is good. So it's a legit super bike. It's going to weigh 445 pounds. Oh, dry weight. So it's actually just a little bit heavy, guys, because you got another 20 pounds or so for fluid, you know, for between the having gas in the damn thing if you want it to run, but then fluids meaning like radiator fluid, oil. For all we know, they might not even have freaking brake fluid in there. You know, when they talk about it dry, they mean really dry. Let's see. Wet weight. 441 pounds. Okay. It's not fat. That's competitive. It's a smidgen heavier than other bikes, but it's very close. It's good enough. Let's look at cost. Oh, and I guess I can fire up the synth wave, but I'll turn the volume down. I've got to utilize all of the best practices from Crash Test Goat. So $18,000 for a bike like that. I can't talk. That's my buddy Alfred. I gotta leave him alone. Let's see. Honda CBR 1000 RRR price 30,000, 29,000. How about Ducati Panigale V4 price? Starts at 28. That seems kind of unbelievably inexpensive. But anyway, oh, V4S. Okay, let's talk V4S. So you're looking at about 35,000. So it's not cheap. So you can get that CF Moto bike for considerably less. But here's the thing to think about, guys. You know, Honda has had one or two little reliability issues. KTM had reliability issues with their cam issues. Premature cam wear leading to hardening of lobes, clacking noises, all kinds of other shit. Big problem, big recalls, very, very serious. So when KTM had their bikes, you think, oh, KTM, yeah, they're good, but they screwed up. And then what should we call it? Kawasaki 636 issues. I think the journal on the crankshaft bushing failure can cause sudden engine seizure. That's bad, isn't it? If your engine seizes while you're riding, that's worse than dropping a chain. I'd rather have my chain break than have my engine lock up, because if your engine locks up, it happens in a split second. You're going to probably high side. Your back wheel is going to be skitching all over the place, sliding out on you, and especially if you're going at speed. And maybe you can pull the clutch in to disengage the engine since it's seized, but it's hard to say because it happens in a split second and you might not have the wherewithal. But and then let's look at Honda motorcycle quality issues. However, reported quality issue, electrical policy. There's Goldwing's had some troubles. There's one bike in particular, guys. I think it's a 500. I'm going to say recent Honda motorcycle quality recalls. Okay, the Rebel recalled for steering risk loss. Your handlebars come undone, that's bad. CBR 600 engine rod bearing failure risk, and okay. So I'm just saying everybody's got problems, guys, and people get kind of mesmerized by, oh, China, oh, CF Moto with this new bike and engine, and it's affordable and everything. Oh, it looks so shiny, so great. The jury is still out on this, guys. Just because they built one or two of something, you gotta go into full production, and you gotta put some miles on the thing, and then see how it holds up. And so there's almost freaking guaranteed to be some serious problems with those new bikes coming out of CF Moto. I wouldn't write them off completely. I'm just saying I'd be a little bit cautious with them. Let me check the chat. Oh, you guys are talking about drifting and everything. I should. Oh, so Bezzy, yeah, you were doing all that babysitting, but now you stopped doing babysitting. Oh, hey, Lucas, I just noticed you here. Howdy. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, Bezzy's got, in fact, we could even look at Bezzy's channel for a second, because we're going to shine. In fact, we could take a moment real quick to look at everybody's channels, guys. Bezzy K with her sketching, which is cool. Moto Adventure 7 months ago. See, I looked at your thing. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike from you.
Because I don't like the loud sound. But the con is sometimes they could just run right out in front of you.
I like these
but
little pop-ups.
You know, I don't have to wait, so
Inspired
it's awesome.
by Walterific.
Anyway, this is the covered bridge I was talking about. Pretty cool, eh?
It is cool. I'm gonna jump back to the front, and I'm only gonna spend a minute on this, Bezzy. Not gonna dwell. Not that I don't
somewhere
want to,
else. And also, I'm riding a different bike. This is
a
Buell Blast, and it's not mine. A very good sir is letting me ride it, and I thank you, Mr. Good Sir. That's what I'll call him.
I think you still have this.
But anyway, this is
I think you still have possession of it.
Almost twice as heavy as my Grom. The Grom is the only bike I've ever ridden. So that's all I can compare it to. But twice as heavy.
It's got a lot more power.
But it also has a belt band drive.
Oh,
so
belt 3% power.
It's interesting because shifting gears is squishy. And something to get used to, because
you don't have to adjust belts. They're good for about 60,000 miles.
When I'm shifting gears, it's like ka-chink with the chain, and with the band, it's like, let me turn this on.
Fire that baby up. Come on, start.
With the band, it's like just squish.
So that's interesting, Bezzy, that it's squished.
Let's
that
get
means
moving.
If
I'm getting hot.
You had a hard
just
start.
Here.
The belt wouldn't. You know, the belt.
All right. So.
Pitchfork Peasant. Pitchfork Peasant, 13 subscribers. I subscribed. See, Pitch. And your videos are pretty cool. And it's got a steering damper on it. It's got a proper bike, just proper sport bike. I haven't seen this one here. I'll give you a thumbs up. No hands. Look, Ma. No hands. There you go. Hands. Oh, cop on the left. Yeah. Hands on the bars. Cop on the right. Sometimes I speed things up because I'm in a hurry. Hello, Ossifer. So that was a short one. That's okay. Nice. I'm going to say, look, Bezzy and NikNak commented already. I'm going to say, hi, pitchfork. Comment. I don't know if you have a suggestion. Look at, here he is riding in the rain. And good for you for not being a chicken to ride in the rain. It's not the most fun, but it's not a real big deal. Although you got to be careful of those white stripes that can really screw you up. I know that. So I can't remember pitchfork. What is this? Is it a Gixxer 750? And I know I probably asked you this question 3 times now at least, what your bike is. It sounds nice. Oh, I had a glimpse of what the bike, what the manufacturer was, but I didn't look at the paint. In fact, if I okay, so right now from this riding, I'll tell you, Pitchfork Peasant is easily up here. I mean, he's actually more over here. I mean, I think you were at 11 or 12,000 RPMs on your bike there, Pitchfork. And so you're a go-fast guy and you're not afraid to rub it out. Good for you. And he's kind of screaming in the rain. He's on 60. But it's hard to see, I know, because your visor gets all like kind of jazzed up from the rain. Okay, so let me see, is Seth, I don't know Seth Allen, I think that's you, sir. Maybe this isn't you. Maybe this is a different Seth Allen. Let me check the chat. Do you have a channel, Seth? I don't know if you do or not. I thought you do. Oh, okay. So it's, yeah, not this Seth. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Bezzy. NikNak, howdy ho. Hey, I'm gonna. I realized an easy way to get you the Word file with the documents and everything is for me to just put it on Google Drive. And I had planned to do that, and I was gonna paste the link in chat, and I didn't get it done before the stream, but I'm gonna do it after the stream, and I'm gonna probably paste it in chat here. I'll leave the thing up a little bit longer and paste it in chat so that you can have at it. Oh yeah, there's a little hearts. That's probably from NikNak. Okay, sure. I see the little hearts floating up on the side there. And then let's see. NikNak, you missed it. I'll just touch upon it for a sec. It takes 375 pounds of force, of push or thrust, to make a Fireblade go 200 miles an hour. And it has a coefficient of friction of 0.257, I calculated. And an F-35 has a coefficient of friction of 0.212, so it's more aerodynamic. I keep saying coefficient of friction, coefficient of drag, I'm sorry. But it's got 137,000 pounds of force to propel it at that speed of 1,200 miles an hour, which is 536 meters per second. See, it's 1,000. Even GOAT can't go 1,200 miles per hour. I hate to disappoint him. He goes almost that fast, but so that's 536 meters per second. And so a Mustang GT has a coefficient of friction of 0.32, which is higher than the F-35 or the Fireblade. But a Tesla Model S Plaid has a coefficient of friction damn it, coefficient of drag. Drag, what a drag. Who would have thought that a Tesla Model S Plaid has a lower coefficient of friction than an F-35? I would not have assumed that, but that's impressive. So here we'll save. So let me go back to whatever. Is my voice bad, Bezzy? I don't know if you're making more. Okay, hey, NikNak. So is there somebody else's channel that we could look at? There's this other thing that I could look at. Hopefully I'm not going to click upon a bad tab that's going to humiliate me with my selection of things. We could look at tank slappers on motorcycles if we run out of time. I don't know about that. This was a lame video.
I didn't get any of it because I was in front of them.
Do you want to give the trooper the video footage?
No.
No?
No? Alright, then you're free to go.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So, to give you a rundown of what happened, there's like 15 riders. They're all going along, and behind them, it's not caught on video. I'm not going to waste your time showing because it just shows these bikes. But apparently one of the guys did a wheelie and had a passenger on the back, and they fell off, and so it caused like and one guy was filming it, and so the guy doing the video crashed, and then the guy filming it was right next to him, close, so he could be catching the action, and he crashed him, and then another rider crashed too, so 3 riders crashed. It's unfortunate. This girl went down. Always wear protection. Sorry. No.
This is why you should never skip protective gear, even if you're a pro. This girl was practicing a new stunt when things went wrong.
Ooh.
She went down hard, but got back up even harder.
I think this is that French gal. And she's
But
like
on her
the
second
real
try,
frickin' deal.
she nailed it. And that's what makes her a real pro.
She does.
This is why you should
incredible
never skip
stuff.
protective gear, even if you're a pro. This girl was practicing a new stunt.
What is her name? Because she's.
This is why
she's
you
an
should never
amazing
skip
stunter.
protective gear, even if you're a pro. This girl was. This is why you should never skip protective
I'm
gear,
looking for
even
who
if
it
you're a
is.
pro.
What's her name?
This girl was practicing a new stunt when things went wrong.
Oh yeah, look at
She
that.
went down hard,
Sarah
but got
Lizo.
back up even harder.
I mean,
But on her second try, she nailed it. And
I know that stunting is dangerous and not recommended, but guys, I gotta tell you, I'm so impressed with the shit that some of these people can do for stunting. This one, she stands the bike up. It's not really a useful skill to have, but it's cool that she could do it. Check this out. I bet she goes through tires. Stoppy. It's incredible stuff. One of the things that they're skipping is she's had to have burned through so many goddamn bikes. I mean, in fact, let's find out. How many motorcycles has crashed or destroyed? Question mark. But she's had some crashes. She goes through several bikes, especially when, okay, whatever. So, but you know that would happen. But how about Brian 636?
Nice tag you got there.
What are you doing down? To have him on as a guest.
I
He's
hooked
kind
up
of
with
a
this guy in
Miami
Chicago.
legend down here, man.
He's a nice
Chico
guy.
blood. Do you always ride in Nikes? It's the most consistent sole, right? You know, California. Expected. Hit it straight away like that real quick. Oh, look at that. Speaking of Florida, we can see what's hanging out the side of them there, huh? This is Florida. You can have your Glock out. But coming off of the Ghost Racing event and some of the go fast culture that exists within it, I think as stunt riders and guys that can actually wheelie and do some of this slow stuff, you start getting your kicks less and less from that and more from just control and riding with your friends and kind of pushing each other. It's just so much better.
I went there for the lean back Chirac group ride. The after movie. This is what it was like, guys.
And making screeching loud.
Supermotos, sport bikes. They got everything out here though. It was crazy. Oops. I know it's kind of excessive and silly, but it's still cool to me, even though I don't do it. Okay, so let's check out the chat. Yeah, Seth, that gal can ride like nobody's business. So we're at the end of an hour, so I'm just checking in the chat. I don't know if I'm going to have a live chat tomorrow or not. I might. But is there any topic that you would like me to cover, guys? I was going to talk about, Pitchfork, thanks for the suggestion on Kyle Slinger. I'll check him out. In fact, here, since we have a moment, there ain't no time like the present. Just take a second, right? Stunt TV, this dude. Oops. So this guy's on a stretch that looks like a Kawasaki of some sort, but I can't tell. Oh, the reason I can't tell is because I got the damn speed on the tree, so it's something normal. Can anyone tell what kind of bike this is? What able to stunt on the thing without too much trouble? Oh, it's a ZX-10. It says right there. Okay. I mean, it's amazing what these guys can do once they get it down. You know, after you've gone through a number of crashes and getting injured and other stuff. But Ryan636 does this stuff too, and it's routine for them. He's standing on the passenger pegs there, I believe. Sport bike stunting overheat fix, whatever, stunt a bit. Let's see. This is just nuts, guys. And I know you might say, what's the point? But it's still cool. I admire it. That's a high chair. Anyway, let me go back to the chat. Yeah, Pitch. Yeah, it's incredible what these guys can do. And thanks for turning me on to that guy. I'm going to subscribe to him. I'm 5'11", Bezzy. I used to be 6 foot tall, but you kind of shrink as you get older, I guess. And when I was at the hospital, a year ago for cancer and everything, they measured my height and they said, "No, you're like 5'10" and a half or 5'11". Yes, Pitchfork, I do. I used to follow it a lot more. I used to be really intrigued with it, but I got out of it and I glance at it from time to time. But I really, really admire it, and it's fun to watch. So, Pitchfork, you're saying he's usually on a 6R, and I think you might mean a Yamaha R6, or maybe you mean he's on a 636. I don't know. Yeah, I did shrink. Yes, Bezzy, I'm shrinking. It's true. I'm sinking like Venice. So, yeah. Pitch, when you're saying that he can spin around backwards and stuff, it's just nuts what they can do. All right, well, I guess I'll wrap it up. But if you guys have suggestions for tomorrow, feel free to make any in Discord. Yeah, okay, very good, Pitchfork. ZX6R, which is basically a 636, right? Which is what Brian's 636 is on usually, but not exclusively. He's also got a BMW S1000 and he zips around, but lately he's been tooling around that Saran electric bike a lot. So, all right, well, thanks you guys for joining, and maybe I'll stream tomorrow night. I'm not sure, but thank you for joining. Thanks, Bezzy and Pitchfork and Seth and NikNak if you're there. Oh, I was going to paste the link in NikNak. Paste the link to the file in Google Docs. I'll see if I can do it. I'll maybe post it. I'll add the link to the YouTube video. So okay, goodbye everybody. Take care.